Is there someone in your life that you feel is slipping away and you don't know how to stop it? Someone you love who used to look at you differently with a warmth that now seems to have faded without you being able to explain why? Or perhaps there is a person you need to listen to you, value you, choose you, and no matter how hard you try, you feel your words don't land, your presence doesn't make an impact, that something invisible prevents you from connecting with that person the way you want. It doesn't matter if it's your partner, your boss, a family member, someone you want to win back, or someone you need to convince. What I'm going to teach you today works in all those situations because the problem is not in what you say or how you look. The problem lies in something very few people know, the dormant power you carry in your own mouth. Today, I'm going to reveal a secret that ancestral traditions have kept for centuries, a secret so simple that you will be able to apply it today before the day is over, and when you do, you will start to notice something different in how people react when you are near, in how they listen to you, in how they look at you, because there is something you can place in your mouth that awakens a force of attraction so powerful that the person in front of you cannot resist. Stay until the end of this video because I will tell you how the story of a woman who was about to lose the most important thing in her life ended and how this secret changed everything in a matter of days. That story will show you better than any explanation the power of what we are sharing today. And right now, before continuing, write in the comments, I attract, I make fall in love, I conquer. Write it with all your conviction because that declaration is the first step to awaken that power you carry inside. Also like this video so that this wisdom reaches more people who need it. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, do it now and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any ancestral secret. Awakening your inner flame. There is something I want you to understand before continuing, and it is this. The power of attraction is not something some people have and others don't. It is not a special gift you are born with. It is an energy we all carry inside, without exception. But over time, with stress, accumulated wounds, the weight of years and disappointments, it starts to fade, like a flame that doesn't disappear, but needs someone to fan the fire. You didn't lose your ability to attract. You didn't become invisible. You are not less than before. What happened is that the flame became small without you realizing it. And when the flame is small, words don't have the same warmth, and presence doesn't have the same weight. The gaze doesn't have the same strength. What we are going to do today is exactly that. Fan the fire. Awaken that energy that is inside you, waiting to be activated. And we are going to do it with something nature gave us precisely for that, a root of fire that ancestral wise men knew and that today you will also know. Rosa's story. Let me tell you what happened to Rosa. Rosa is 61 years old and lives in Guadalajara. She has been married to the same man for 32 years, a man she chose when she was young and continued to choose every day for over 3 decades. It wasn't a perfect marriage, none are, but it was solid, it was real, it was theirs. Until one day, Rosa started to notice something. Her husband arrived later, got distracted with his phone. He responded with monosyllables where there used to be conversation, and he slept with his back turned where there used to be an embrace. Rosa didn't say anything at first. She thought it was work, exhaustion, age. She told herself she was imagining things. But one night, unintentionally, she saw a message on her husband's phone and knew she wasn't imagining anything. What Rosa felt in that moment has no words to describe it. 32 years, 3 children, a whole life built together, and suddenly all of that trembling beneath her feet as if it were going to collapse. Rosa could have done many things, screamed, confronted him, left, but she didn't do any of those things, because Rosa was a woman who, in the most difficult moments, had always sought wisdom over reaction. It was then that she called her aunt, an older woman who had always been a guide for Rosa in dark times, and her aunt, after listening to her in silence for a long time, told her something Rosa didn't expect. Don't fight. Don't cry in front of him. Don't give him the power to see you broken. What you have to do is awaken something you carry inside that he has forgotten exists, and I know how to help you do it. What the aunt taught her was something so simple, so apparently small that Rosa almost didn't believe it, but she did it. She did it with faith, with patience, with the calm determination of someone who has nothing to lose and everything to gain. And in less than 2 weeks, her husband began to change. Not all at once, not dramatically, but he started looking at her again, seeking her, perhaps remembering why he had chosen her over 30 years ago. How Rosa's story ended, I will tell you at the end, but first you need to know exactly what her aunt taught her, and for that I have to tell you about a root that has been kept for thousands of years as one of the most powerful secrets of ancestral wisdom, the power of ginger. The root we are going to use today is ginger, and before explaining how to use it, I need you to understand why it has the power it has, why this is not superstition or unfounded belief. There is a very concrete and very old reason behind all this. Ginger is what spiritual traditions around the world call a root of fire. It is not a metaphor, it is a description of its true energetic nature. When you place fresh ginger in your mouth, the first thing you feel is heat, a heat that expands, awakens, activates. That heat is not just physical. In ancestral tradition, that heat is the manifestation of a living energy, an energy that has been used for millennia to ignite passion, awaken desire, and activate the power of attraction in people. But there is something else, something the wise understood a long time ago, and that modern science is beginning to confirm. The mouth is the most important center of power we have, not only because words come out of it, but because it is the place where intention becomes vibration. Every word you pronounce carries an energetic frequency, and that frequency can be weak or it can be powerful. It can go unnoticed, or it can directly impact the energy field of whoever receives it. When you place ginger under your tongue before talking to someone, you are doing something very precise. You are charging your voice with the energy of that root of fire. You are turning every word you say into a flame, and a flame, as you well know, is very hard to ignore. That is why in the healing traditions of Latin America and the Caribbean, ginger has always held a special place in rituals of attraction, dominance, and influence. Not to manipulate or break anyone's will, but to awaken in the other something that was already there, the ability to see you, hear you, feel you. The ritual is simple. The ritual instructions. You don't need hard-to-find ingredients or complicated preparations. Everything you are going to use you can find in your kitchen or any market. The first thing you need is fresh ginger, not ginger powder, not ginger tea bags. Fresh ginger, the root, just as they sell it in the market. It's important that it's fresh because that's where all the living energy of the plant is. When you are going to use it, cut a small piece, roughly the size of your thumbnail. Peel it carefully, and before placing it in your mouth, hold that piece between your fingers for a moment. Close your eyes and say softly or mentally the name of the person you are going to talk to, or simply the intention you carry: to attract, reconnect, be heard, be chosen. Put all your clarity into that moment. Intention is the most powerful ingredient of any ritual. Then place the piece of ginger under your tongue. Leave it there. Don't chew it yet. Just let it rest. You will feel the heat spreading throughout your mouth, that sensation of a gentle fire, which reminds you that something is activating. Now, if you want to enhance the effect, before placing the ginger under your tongue, you can pass it lightly through a little honey and sprinkle a pinch of cinnamon on it. Honey sweetens the word and makes it irresistible. Cinnamon is the spiritual accelerator par excellence. Everything it touches, it enhances and multiplies. The three together, ginger, honey, and cinnamon, form a combination that ancestral traditions consider one of the most powerful to awaken attraction and fascination. You can have it under your tongue for several minutes before the encounter, or even during the conversation if the situation allows. And when you feel it has fulfilled its function, you can discreetly remove it. When and how to use it. This ritual works in any situation where you need your presence and words to have more impact, but there are some specific situations where its power is especially noticeable, and I want you to know them. If what you need is to reconnect with your partner, with someone you love and feel distant from, prepare the ginger before a moment of closeness. It can be a dinner, an important conversation, a quiet moment at home. You don't need to say anything special, just be present with that active energy. The root of fire does its work silently, awakening an attraction in the other that perhaps had been dormant for a long time. If the situation is work-related, if there is someone who doesn't value you as you deserve, a boss who doesn't listen to your ideas, an important negotiation you need to win, place the ginger under your tongue before going into that meeting or before having that conversation. You will notice something different in how you express yourself, in the confidence you convey, in how people react to what you say. If there is a broken family relationship, a child who distanced themselves, a loved one with whom communication closed off, use it before that encounter you have been putting off. The energy of ginger doesn't force or manipulate, it opens. It creates the conditions so that something that was blocked can flow again. And if there is someone who owes you something, money, respect, recognition, and you need to have that difficult conversation, the ginger under your tongue will give you the clarity and strength to say what you need to say in a way that is heard. In all cases, while you carry it in your mouth, clearly visualize the result you desire. Not the process, not the conversation, but the final result. The look of that person changing, the connection restored, the deal closed, the reunion happening. That visualization is what directs the energy to where it needs to go. Signs it is working. The signs arrive sooner than you expect, and it is important that you recognize them so as not to let them pass by thinking they are simple coincidences. The first sign is usually internal. Before even seeing any change in the other, you will notice something different in yourself. A new confidence, a calm you didn't have, a quiet certainty that things are in motion. That feeling is not auto-suggestion, it is the energy of the root working from the inside out. Then the external signs begin. The person who had pulled away gives unexpected signs of approaching, a message, a call, a small but significant gesture. Don't ignore it. Don't overanalyze it. Receive it naturally and with gratitude. It is also very common that during this process you have dreams about that person, dreams where there is conversation, closeness, resolution. In spiritual tradition, those dreams are confirmations that the energetic bond is reactivating. And at some point, usually between the first 3 and 7 days of use, something concrete happens, a change in that person's attitude that has no logical explanation, an openness where before there was distance, a warmth where before there was coldness. That is the moment you know the flame was ignited. Final warnings and the conclusion of Rosa's story. Before you go get your ginger, there are some important things I need you to keep in mind. First, use this ritual with clean intentions. Ginger awakens a real and powerful energy, and that energy responds to the intention with which it is used. If you carry it with love, with a genuine desire for connection, with the will to build something good, that is the energy you will project. If you carry it with desperation, obsession, or the desire to control someone, that vibration is also transmitted and blocks the effect of the ritual. Second, do not speak of this to anyone while you are doing it. Silence is part of the ritual. What is exposed loses strength, so keep it to yourself. Third, have patience and consistency. It is not a one-time use solution. Use it regularly, with faith, with the quiet certainty of someone who knows they are setting something real in motion. The deepest changes are not always the most immediate, but when they arrive, they are the ones that last. And finally, if you are sensitive to spicy foods or have any condition that prevents you from having fresh ginger in your mouth, consult with your doctor before using it. The ritual works equally well if, instead of placing it under your tongue, you hold it in your hands during visualization or carry it with you as an amulet in your pocket. And now, I promise to tell you how Rosa's story ended. Rosa used this secret for 10 days without saying anything to her husband, without confrontations, without scenes, without tears in front of him, only with that inner flame her aunt helped her awaken. And after those 10 days, her husband came home one afternoon, sat next to her, looked at her in a way Rosa hadn't seen in years, and said, "What's going on with you lately? Are you different?" Rosa smiled and said nothing, because sometimes silence is the most powerful response. Today, Rosa and her husband are still together, closer than before, as she says, because sometimes it takes something almost breaking for one to remember the value of what they have. Now you have everything you need: the secret, the ritual, the signs, and the story that proves it works. The only thing missing is you, your intention, and your faith. Write now in the comments, "I attract, I make fall in love, I conquer." Write it with force, with conviction, because those words are a decree and the universe hears them. If this video touched your heart, like it so this wisdom reaches more people who need it. Share it with someone you feel needs it right now, and subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to not miss any ancestral secret. Thank you for joining me to the end. May that flame you carry inside burn brightly. May your words have the power they deserve, and may all the love you give return to you multiplied. See you in the next video.